right, now we're back.
All right.
So, anyway, welcome to the show, Glenda.
Thank you. Thank
And
you for having me again.
sorry about not being prepared for tonight.
You
uh,
know what? It's okay.
yeah,
Sometimes those are the better interviews.
and actually, the way that this year has been going with this current season that we're in right now, you know what season I mean. Not meaning to go crazy on anything, one topic, but anyway,
Uh-huh.
just things are just kind of crazy all around. I mean,
Hmm.
where do we find the balance? And so that's what I thought it'd be fun if we could talk about finding that balance, you know. And some of that is reaching out to people like you,
Hmm.
like I was just mentioning earlier before we went to the start of the show here. I know Michael, Reverend Michael Carter, right?
Yes.
And he's a Reiki master, of course,
Yes.
and a few other types of levels of master as well. You know, different things that he understands. You know, and
Right.
I mean that in the most kindest way. How to explain that? You know, without sounding weird. But anyway, uh, he has a lot of interesting tools that he can use.
Right.
And one thing I like about Reverend Michael, not that we're talking about him, we're here to talk with you, but
Hmm.
you know, just kind of balance what I believe uh, a Reiki master is somebody who has compassion and cares about the people that you're
Hmm.
working with, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and when you say Grandmaster,
Yeah.
what is the difference in the level of, say, Reiki Master 3 or Reiki Master
I'm
5?
Reiki. I'm Grandmaster 25.
Oh, yikes.
And I know I have been attuned and have taken classes for over 125 different types of Reikis.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So the best way I can explain it is like Usui Reiki is like our family physician, and all the other branches or lineages or of Reiki are the specialists.
Hmm.
So, for example, Karuna Ki helps with a lot of traumas
Mm.
specifically. So you could start with the general practitioner, the family doctor, and then he sends you to the specialist, and that's basically what I do is I figure out exactly which is the Reiki that you need the most to help
Yeah,
you become balanced and help you become your best.
I
For
like it.
example, I just been treating this one woman who we started, I believe, in December, November, December, and she was basically unable to walk. She was told she was going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of her life, and now she is walking, and a lot of the times even without any assistance, no cane or not anything.
Hmm.
So I gave her the Reiki that she needed to balance her healing at that particular session. So we had sessions in the beginning every week, and then we dwindle it down to every other week.
Mm.
And now, it depends on whether she needs one right away or not, or, depending on what's going on with her life, it could be either every 3 weeks or every other week or every week, depending on what she needs. But she is definitely improving. Even the doctors are very curious as to how she was able to do that. And for those who are interested, she did put it out in Google reviews. So,
Okay.
so it isn't like I'm just saying it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
you're.
like to say the names
Oh no,
because,
that's fine.
but she did it herself, so it's out there.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, I wouldn't want to share anybody's info either. I just mentioned
Yeah.
Reverend Michael Carter because we all know who he is.
Oh, yes, he's a great guy. He really is a great
I
guy.
don't think he minds us talking about him as long as it's good.
Nah, nah, his ears are ringing probably,
Yeah.
but
He'll be calling you on the phone saying, "Hey, wait a minute, get me on the show." Uh, And I interviewed Michael, and I tell you, he's one of the nicest guys that I could talk to.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet him in person someday, and
Oh,
you too. That'd be awesome.
that would be lovely. I had the pleasure of meeting him in person
Yeah,
in Michigan last year
yeah,
in one of the UFO cons
yeah.
what was September of last year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what a wonderful. The same
He
energy.
did. Not to do any name dropping or anything like, but he was
Hmm.
one of the ones that helped me with physical healing for me.
Good.
I'm still dealing with a situation that still has not completely healed, but it is doing better.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it's because of the people that are praying for me and working with me and
Hmm.
sending me positive energy or whatever it is. Uh, and plus I'm following more of what my medical doctor is telling me to do, which that's a big deal. You don't want to ignore them because then that
No,
causes more
a,
problems.
a proper balance is Eastern and Western medicine together.
Yeah, and
As a
I would never tell anybody to abandon their belief in the medical regimen, whatever it's
right.
somebody's telling you to do,
Hmm.
or dietary or anything like that. I would say, hey, do your
Exactly.
research, find
Hmm.
out what works best for you, and then
Hmm.
go with it. And
Exactly.
now, if you can use a combination of the different ones, then I would recommend that.
Yeah.
Because then that would just mean more. That mean more help for the person, I believe, if you could do
Yes.
both. I
Yes.
mean, if you're okay with doing both, now some people have a spiritual issue with working
Mhm.
with one or the other, depending on what side of the fence you're on.
Exactly.
Myself, I've seen enough evidence where I can trust both, you
Hmm.
know, and work with both, and then it kind of helps me mentally for one, because then I know what to look for.
Hmm.
As to who I need to trust, what I need to do to get my own self level. On
Hmm.
that. But one of the things they were working with was I had bad infection on my leg.
Right.
You know, and
Hmm.
I had you know what varicose veins is, right?
Hmm.
And then I also had edema and
Okay.
phlebitis, which are three major circulation issues in the veins.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
And what happens is when a vein collapses, then it causes a backup and a swelling in the legs. And what happened with my situation is that my legs swelled up and the skin split open,
Oh.
which then there's no, it doesn't heal.
Right. Right. Right.
There's no way to sew it shut or nothing necessarily. Wear compression stockings, yeah, but if it's bleeding, it's not going to help it. So I
Hmm.
finally got it to where it stopped bleeding again. And but I had some people to do Reiki distance healing.
Hmm.
Julie was one of those people that helped me out on that,
Mm.
actually, and she is
Wonderful.
she's interesting. I've known Julie for a little while, and she's a really good friend of mine, and I don't mind bragging about her abilities.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I know you have abilities as well. Why I enjoyed having this conversation with you.
Thank
And
you.
hello to Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. And he's a regular watcher. And
What
Mm.
up, Rockstar?
and but so I've had a friend of mine. Won't mention her name, but she's well, you might know her anyway. But she actually claims to be a witch. But she's also a Reiki master. you
Uh-huh.
know. And she does a lot of like you. She does spiritual stuff, and things like that.
Hmm.
But she
Hmm.
she did claim. She told me right off. She said, "I am a practicing witch, not Wiccan. She's
Hmm.
an actual witch. She knows
Hmm.
how to do things with nature, and things like that. Different things she might do, and we get along fine. She's a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
And
there's no reason why not to get along with people.
yeah, and
Each
see
one
what
of
I
us
find. What I
find our own
find
way.
Yeah,
So,
and what I find is that people that have, like you, that have powers or gifts, I'll say gifts,
gifts,
but
yes.
people that have gifts, I'd rather have them on my side than to be them have them mad at me, you know.
Oh boy.
'Cause
Oh boy.
I just say, lot better world to get along with people, and to have them on your team than to have them fighting against you. And then
Well,
you're trying to fight the energy they're giving you because they're mad at you or whatever. And then you don't want to do that. That's not the way to do things.
I am a big believer that whatever you send out comes back to you. So if you
Yeah.
send out good energy, that comes back to you. If you send out bad energy, it comes back to you. That's why I always stress that I only work in the light,
Mhm.
no matter what I do. Self defense, yes, of course.
Yeah.
If somebody's sending you something, you have a right to defend yourself because you're not
Yeah.
going to sit there like a target and
And
let
take
every
it. Yeah.
right. So you have a right to defend yourself, but I usually just say whatever you're sending to me, I'm sending it back to you. So
Yeah.
and so if they send knives, knives go back to them. If they send whatever it is, if they send love, then love goes back to them. That's what I believe one of the ways to keep balance,
Yeah.
complete balance.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. And I think that in today's world, of course, with all the negativity I see, there's so much negativity
yes,
on on all sides of the whatever. Uh,
in people in general.
yeah, but yeah, the whole just everybody's against everybody, and
Hmm.
I don't think we can survive very long
No.
as a human race. I don't think we can survive very long with that hatred and that negativity. And
No.
that's when I hear people say that, oh, you got to raise your vibration. I'm getting that. I understand that
Hmm.
point now. And where before I didn't, I just thought, oh, that was just a nice saying. They were just being polite and nice about that. But then when I start thinking about why is everybody so upset and mad and angry at
Hmm.
everyone,
Hmm.
that they're not at the right level of their vibration, obviously.
Right, right. And also, you still have a human factor. So even if you raise your vibration and you try to walk in that light, you have your days.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
you have to learn how to step away from that fire of negative energy.
Yeah. And
You
that's
know,
hard to do sometimes.
yes, yes, it is.
Especially when it's a friend or family that you happen to love,
Mm-hmm.
and then a meeting on a human side of point
Right.
of love, nothing
Mm-hmm.
weird, just on a human side of things,
Mm-hmm.
you love that person, and then when we're at odds with the choices that we're making or with the conversation that we might be having, and
Mm-hmm.
then somebody might not agree with you. And I always tell everybody on my podcast that I do on Friday night, I
Mm-hmm.
always tell everybody, and whatever when I'm doing my spirit box things that I do in the afternoon, and I'm having my own little commentary and I'm just talking to myself about whoever is listening. And I
Right.
always say, hey, don't believe in what I'm saying. Don't agree with me ever.
Mm-hmm.
Please, if you have any questions, go do the research. Find
Yep.
out. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to make any sense out of what you believe, and I don't want you to, try to adjust your thinking for what I believe. What I want you to do
Right.
is do the research, find out,
Mm-hmm.
and then hopefully we can all be friends afterwards, and we don't have to argue about it. And a lot of times I get into conversations with people, and most of the time we can just have a conversation about things.
Right.
Not a big deal, that's the adult thing to do.
Exactly.
We're not supposed to be upset or mad at each other. We're not supposed to be hating each other for our choices. We're supposed to listen to each side and say, hey, okay, I see what you're saying, and
Mm-hmm.
then go from there. And um, you know, just a couple of things. You got religious and politics are the two main ones, right? And
Yes.
right
Yeah.
now in this particular season that we're in, it's really big.
Oof. Yes. Everywhere you go, everywhere you go. That's why. Honestly, I don't even watch the news. I don't watch
I
any
I
news. I
I
I
do for
have
laughs. Sometimes I'll watch it to make because it does make me laugh sometimes.
yeah. I just avoided it because it's going to get worse.
Yeah. But
And
what I want to say now is that we got to
yeah.
pray. You
Hmm.
know the you know you're a believer in a faith, not necessarily Christian faith or whatever, but you're a
Right.
believer in. I'm sure you believe the Bible or some of the religious writings,
Hmm.
and you believe in the fact that when they say we need to pray for our leadership,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
We need to pray for our leadership. And hey, Daggers, how you doing? And so I believe we need to pray for our leadership. I don't care who wins in November. We need to pray for the leadership,
Hmm.
no matter what.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
you remember Dave? Was it David or Daniel? Daniel or David? Daniel. Daniel got thrown in the lion's den, right?
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yes,
Daniel.
Daniel.
So he was praying 3 times a day in the
Hmm.
open window when there was given an order that he's not supposed to pray. Remember? They told him
Hmm.
not to pray, and he said, I'm going to pray to my God no matter what you say, and he did that, right?
Right.
So when they throw him in the lion's den, and of course the Holy Spirit protected him, obviously.
Hmm.
That was the whole
Hmm.
story about that, you know.
Right.
That,
And the thing is, it's people use that word and they believe it's only religious, but when you send a good intention or you send somebody, I wish you health, that's a
yeah,
prayer.
yeah,
That's a prayer.
yeah,
When you say, I wish you luck, that's a prayer.
yeah,
When people do rituals and, they do a full moon ritual, a new moon ritual, or just a ritual in general, that's a prayer. When you're doing meditation, you're actually praying
yeah,
because what it is, prayers is a connection to that divine
uh,
being that's
uh,
above us
yeah,
that, has his, who's above all of us. And we're trying to connect with that divine spiritual being and
yeah,
say, you know, it really stinks down here right now. We kind of need a little intervention. Can you send that wave of good energy out?
yeah,
No matter what it is, and whether because people get stuck on wordage,
yeah,
on verbiage, and they don't understand that who knows, maybe 3,000 years ago, prayer wasn't the word that people used,
right,
you know, because even in, you know, in the Bible, it says dance and rejoice and all this other stuff. Doesn't mean that they dance like we dance now. They dance just around and moving around.
yeah, yeah.
It's like,
They were releasing the energy that they had.
exactly,
Whether
exactly,
it's a joyful energy or whether it was to get rid of something, whatever the situation was.
exactly. So,
But
people get
yeah.
very stuck on things.
So
But
now I have a theory, and
hmm
this is going way off topic of our what you were just talking about, kind of off the topic, but not really. Maybe we'll see how close it is. But I have a theory. I have used this phrase for probably over 6 years now on my
hmm
show. I talked about a phrase I use called eternal existence.
hmm
And what I mean by that, I don't mean reincarnation. That isn't what I'm saying. I'm saying our soul is created at the beginning of the creation of the universe.
hmm
Okay? The human souls were all created with a free will. We were all created in His likeness, meaning the Creator's likeness. Whether it's a he, she, what, I say he, I say God,
right.
Anybody can argue if they want, but go and read it in the Bible. If you believe in the Christian Bible, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay?
hmm
So I say he for God, and I say God for the source, as some people say.
Source,
But,
yes.
but I mean,
Divine,
obviously, yeah, to be respectful of everybody's beliefs, you try to be all
right,
rounded and you let
right.
people understand what you're talking about. So, anyway, God is who I see. this being
Perfectly
is,
fine. Yeah.
and creator, and anyway, I believe that he created the heavens, then he created. I'm not sure if he created the angels first or if he created the human souls first, because you were made in his image.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hi Ashley, on Facebook, and so yeah, see, we're created in his image.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that we were made before the angels, but then we were put into the human form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because like when in the Old Testament, I think it is, or is it? Yeah, the Old Testament
Mm-hmm.
tells the prophet that you'll be higher than the angels.
Mm-hmm.
Right there's, I can't remember where, can't remember what prophet, can't remember the line it was used, but it was something. Right now you're a little lower than the angels, but in the new life you'll be above and higher than the angels.
Right.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
now what I'm getting at here is that we are spiritual beings
Mm-hmm.
in a physical body trying to figure all this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part that we have is
Mm-hmm.
trying to work through the physical self because we're limited to what we can do. And that
Mm-hmm.
includes our ability with the mental awareness of what we have. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
we're tied to this physical realm, whether we like it or not, at this moment. Now, when I leave this physical realm, I already told my handlers, I said, hey, this is the last time I can come back here. I'm done. Don't send me back here again. I'm not going to agree to it. I'm going to throw a fit every time you try. And I already told him that. I said, this is the last go round, because
Mm-hmm.
I believe I'm very old. I've been here for several hundred years, you know.
Right.
Um, my original name, I don't know if you can ever find this name in the history of things, but Nikolai Janus,
Okay.
Nicoli
Mm-hmm.
Janus. Now, the interesting thing about that, all right,
Mm-hmm.
there was a Nikolai Janus, not quite that spelling, or not, Nicholas
Mm-hmm.
maybe, or something like that, but similar to that name. But Danish, my heritage is Danish, Denmark. For
Mm-hmm.
real. I think you can look it up if you want.
Yeah.
but uh and so anyway, I'm a Viking or explorer, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
We built the big ships that the Vikings used. Okay, there were
Mm-hmm.
good Vikings, there were bad Vikings, there were Vikings in the middle of the road, right? All over the board. So when you say Viking, it doesn't mean there were the bad ones that were killing and stealing and robbing and destroying everybody's life. That's only one part of the Vikings,
Right.
you know.
Correct.
Um, just like Christians and just like, different religious uh, factors, there's many different variations of it,
Right. Right.
In my case, all right, I was an explorer. I landed on North America and
Mm-hmm.
Greenland about, and you heard the guy Leif Erikson, right? You heard of that guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he landed about the same time as I did. I might have been on his boat for all I know.
Mm.
But thing is, I know what date that was in my mind that came into my thought, 850 AD. That's when I landed here.
Mm.
Now, I believe I'm from the future too, though, so this is a whole other thing. but,
Right.
but
Yeah.
anyway, as far as the eternal existence, as part of the
Mm-hmm.
eternal existence part of things, oh, Bobby,
Yeah, I was
you,
just gonna tell you
uh-oh,
that if you're gonna be from the future, okay,
Tyler, David,
Wary, we're not going to have any of that, so F off.
what
So,
now? Where what?
the, I mean, we just got a troll on Facebook.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Yeah, so
Yeah,
in any case, in the viewpoint of my being an eternal
yeah.
soul, okay, eternal existence, you can understand where I'm coming from with that, I think. I'm
Okay.
sure. I'm sure that you have talked with people, Glenda, where they say that they're from the future, or they're from the past, or whatever, or they're not from here. They're from some other place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
what, Bobby?
Yeah, I was gonna say before I got really interrupted by some idiot. If you're gonna be from the future, God's not gonna listen to your proposal. You're still coming back. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. See, Bobby can talk about that. Except he don't like people harassing us on the chat though.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean we're here to have fun and have a fun conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to say as a matter of fact because I don't have the answers. I don't.
Right.
But I am here to give you my point of view, and hopefully you can share yours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, what do you think of the eternal existence
Okay.
aspect of things?
So my belief is, and this is of course my belief,
Yeah,
there is one main soul that was created in the very beginning. Now that soul, that spirit, and for lack of wording, I'm using soul, okay,
okay,
because it's an energy being. We're all energy.
yeah,
So an energy being that was created in the very beginning, um, that sends down different little pieces or aspects of it to learn the lessons that we need to learn.
okay,
So, for example, I could be here, this essence of part of my soul, my whole soul, my complete soul is down here right now. There could be somebody, another piece, some in another dimension, having their own experience. And then at one point, we all gather together and we kind of report to each other and learn from each other to
hmm,
complete the whole soul, the complete soul. But that, or what some people call the oversoul, um, that is my belief. Now, so a lot of the times you can have past life, present, and future all at the same time, just in the same in different dimensions. So you could be living three lives, for lack of wording, at the
yeah,
same time.
I like that. Now that would bring me to my other suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of the I call this activity where you don't really miss time, but you have some kind of thing that shifts that you don't can't figure it out. And I
Right.
call it a time differential.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like
Mm-hmm.
for instance, I'll go on country drive here. I have 2-lane highways. I drive through the in between cornfields and things like that, you know. And
Right.
there's no
Right.
place for cars to turn off, or the only way they can go is come past you, or they're not there, right?
Right.
I've had cars that vanished in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I see a car coming down the road, 2-lane highway, no place for them to turn, and they don't come past me.
Mm.
What the
Okay.
heck happened? What is that?
Well,
You know?
that's jumping timelines.
Okay.
That is
In
actually
in your
going from this one
in
to
your
the other.
theory, and like
Yeah.
how if you're in a conversation and you're
Yeah.
talking and you forget something, and
Mm-hmm.
then 2 seconds or 5 seconds or maybe 30 seconds later, that something comes back to you, and you, oh, now I know what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
You've had that happen before. I know everybody's had.
Everybody
Okay,
has.
now what happens is like what you're saying. We're on another plane somewhere, right?
Right. Exactly.
A
So
over here, me over here, and we switch just for a second.
first for a second.
So we're both switching, and
Mm-hmm.
like we switch, and we're both talking. We're like, "What the hell's going on here?" You know?
Right.
And then we come back, and oh, now I know.
Right.
I've had that happen a few times, and I recognize it now. So I'm not afraid of it. I'm just trying to figure out where I go.
That is something that once you jump back, you automatically forget.
Yeah, because I had a whole point when I first moved here in my house here, and I started doing business at the bank in town.
Mm-hmm.
When I first moved here, I wanted to go to a local casino. So I was with my friend Mike, who was in the car with me,
Mhm.
We pulled up to the bank. I got out, went
Mhm.
into the bank, talked to the teller, get to know people a little bit, got my casino money, come back out, and Mike says, "You got your casino money?" Yep, I got it. It was in my pocket, but I don't remember a thing I did or
Mm.
talked about inside the bank. And I was in there like for maybe 15 minutes or so. But what was talked about? I don't know. I have no clue. But that's one of those situations where we just shift. And then
Yeah,
also I've had cases.
maybe your other self was having a rough time and needed to just take a small break.
Oh,
Uh,
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, we had another. Yeah, we
that's
had another.
usually what happens.
We had another case. You've heard
Mhm.
of the missing location, like say gas station, for instance. You
Mm,
could swear a gas station is in a place where it's supposed to be, right?
right. Mhm.
There's, oh, we'll get gas on the way back. We'll get gas. You
Mhm.
know, it'll be there. And then you're coming back to get gas, and you're almost empty. And it's like there's no gas station there.
Mhm.
What happened to the gas station? It was there when we went.
That's kind of like the Mandela effect, I swear. I mean, I have been in places where I walk in or I drive and the moon is on one side, and all of a sudden I continue driving and I'm driving straight line. There's no curves or anything like that.
Okay,
And all of a sudden there's either no moon or is completely further down and I'm like, wait a second, it's only been
what
like
happened
10
here?
minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting. That's the way
Hi,
I look.
Julie. Hi, Julie. I talked about you earlier. You must have heard me
Ah,
talking about you.
yeah, her ears were ringing.
I'll be surprised if Michael comes in here now. Oh boy.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
now, what can we do? What would be a good way to? I mean, I don't want to restrict the communication with my other self, so to speak.
Right. Hmm.
Obviously, I want to open up and try to be communicating so that I don't, you know, limit my abilities or limit the opportunities, if you will.
Well,
But what I would like to do
uh-huh.
is, how in this realm
Uh-huh.
can we, what would be the best way to maybe focus our attention on now, and on the this now realm, and maybe be open to, if someone sends you a message or you realize something's happening, what do you
Right.
do?
Right.
How do you
Well,
let it flow or what?
the way I do it is being grateful each and every day. I get up in the morning. I acknowledge what I am grateful for, and that brings me to the present. That makes me stay here what I'm enjoying at this moment. I don't really say too much, oh, I can't wait till Saturday, I can't wait till this. I enjoy what I am doing at that moment. If I'm cooking, I'm focusing on cooking. If I am doing one of my classes, I'm focusing on doing that class. I'm not focusing on, oh, I got a class in 2 days, or okay, this person or that person. It is maintaining focus. And when you balance yourself by starting out in the morning being grateful for what you have and you don't have, you bring yourself to a place of not only balance but also being grounded, because
Yeah,
you connect with the universe, and the universe will help you bring yourself to the moment that whatever you're doing. I have a lot of students that have asked me that question, and they know I stress every single morning. First, you have a dream journal next to you, so you write down whatever your dreams were and you pass them. That's it. You think about it later. But from that point on, by being grateful, and you do a morning ritual and a night ritual, it's what I call morning ritual and night ritual. It's a step by step to get you going for the day, and step by step to let your body know it is time to rest. Say the same routine. So, a lot of people go, they brush their teeth, they wash their face, do a lot of this stuff. Then they read a book, you so and so. But right before I close my eyes, I say, thank you for giving me and not giving me whatever I experienced today. Because sometimes, we want that red car. We want that red sporty car. But that red sporty car, if we buy it, we're determined to get a lot of tickets, probably lose our license for points. But they know that this blue car, who's sporty also, but it's a little less visible, you'll be able to extend your license, your valid license.
Yeah.
So, and also, it could be the car that you want. It could be a lemon, and you wouldn't know it until you bought it, and then you'll be stuck going to the dealership constantly for to fix it. Where the other car, it may not be exactly everything you wanted. It may not be the color you wanted. It may not even be the right car that you wanted or model, but yet that's the car that's going to get you everywhere. You're going to have a long time, that car for a long time with proper maintenance and all that instead of having the lemon. So you never know. I always, like I said, I always do that in the morning and at night. I always talk to my guides. I always talk to my team, what I call my team, which isn't just my guides, but it's also my galactic family, my family in whatever dimension it is, my selves, my other selves, and also the divine being, the creator, God, like whatever it is. That that energy that is uh, a lot higher than I am and above my pay grade completely. I am down here, but a mere little tiny person that gets instructed, and I still have a choice whether I go for it or not. Like I said, in your previous show, um, the day before I was 2, I was told by archangels to start walking. I wasn't able to walk, and I was determined, and I was told, and my parents were told I couldn't walk because I have some um, defects. And yet, uh, that day I started walking. So that day was my uh, change completely. My life changed completely. And because of that, I said to myself, divine being who's out there, God, because at that point I just called it God. Um, whatever it is that you need to uplift and increase the energy in this earth, on this earth, or any being, I'm there.
Mhm.
You can use me for the benefit of the light. And ever since then, I've been, you know, of course now you don't have the 24-hour coffee shops or anything like that, but pre-COVID, there were a lot of times where I would be waking up and they would say, well, you got to go here. And all it was is I needed to go to a Dunkin' Donuts in the middle of the night and talk to someone who just
Yeah.
needed somebody to talk to, who was planning to probably end their lives. But because I was there talking to them and showing them all the good and making them aware, and I was always very grateful. So I would always say, oh, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my kids, I'm grateful for everything I have, depending on the day or whatever. And I was I that that made it a big deal to them. It
Yeah.
gave them enough of a chance to see that they had a lot more going on than they thought they did. And actually, I heard from quite a few of those people later on because we became friends. And one of them told me straight out, if they had not talked to me right there and then, in their vehicle they had 3 bottles of pills,
Oh boy.
and they were just going to drive to a parking lot, swallow all that, and go to sleep,
He done. Yeah.
and done. So and now they're one is a doctor now, so
Wow.
working in actually they were working in the whole COVID infectious disease thing. So you never know who you're going to need and
Yeah.
who's meant for whatever they're meant for here.
I think we can kind of do that like we're doing now on the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah,
I believe we can connect through the internet. You know.
yes, yes,
Um, I I learned I had some gifts and talents that I knew I had in the physical realm, but I didn't know that I could actually use them through the internet.
hmm
You know, which is kind of weird. so
well, it's
so
energy, right? It's all
yeah,
energy.
yeah. That's what I got to thinking of. I said it's
Yeah,
all just energy anyway. So
mhm,
and that's what our spirit is. Our spirit is a life energy, a life force, or
exactly.
life energy,
Yeah,
and so we're all working with that anyway.
right, right.
But
And that was proven to me when I was 15, I believe. I drowned
oh wow.
in one of the New Jersey beaches because I lived in New Jersey, and the lifeguard went and got me. The lifeguards, I should say, they had to paddle me back and all that. And when I saw my body floating and the energy just kept going up, and when I arrived to what people call heaven, I call it the other side. Um, I understood and I recognized my family members that were already there by energy,
Hmm.
not because they showed themselves as they were when I met them or I experienced them. It was all energy. I recognized the energy of God. I recognized the energy of the you know everyone, whoever it was there at that moment. And I recognized not only that, but for example, the energy of Jesus, the energy of Mary, the energy of Mother Mary, but also Mary Magdalene. I
Hmm.
recognize the energy of Buddha. I recognize, so it was all those energies there.
I like that. Yeah.
And I just recognized it. It wasn't like they had to tell me who they were. It was more like, oh, so and so. Like if you see your pal on the street, you're not going to go through that whole thing in your mind. Oh, wait, that looks like somebody I know, and yeah,
No,
okay,
you're gonna
no,
know them. You're gonna
exactly.
know
You
them.
just know
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I
Right now,
basically,
and again, yeah, again with the human form, we have the
yeah,
limitation of memory, which is
e-
clouded by
exactly,
whatever. so
exactly,
so
exactly.
we end up getting distracted or we get frustrated because we can't remember the name. A lot of
Hmm.
times when I see somebody, even though I know who they are, but I can't remember their name, but
Hmm.
I'll talk to them and
I,
smile at them and
I,
just
I tell everyone I'm horrible with names.
yeah,
Faces, forget it. I see you once and that's it. I know who you are.
that's
Even
right.
if you
Yeah.
change hair color, if you change from, full
Yeah,
beard and all that to a
you
clean
know
shave,
who it is.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know who it is.
exactly. And
But
that's it. I think it's how I recognize people over the internet. Uh oh, what's that?
Yeah, so right now we want to welcome Genghis, Rockstar, Julie, all on the YouTube at the present moment. And actually, Herden X on the Facebook. Welcome.
Yeah.
So, so I guess that's everyone. So yeah.
Okay. I was gonna ask you, Glenda,
uh-huh.
can I? Aura was one of the things that I read through
Mm-hmm.
the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Can I share yours and read yours with you?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. Now I might have done this the last time. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I did or
But
didn't.
it auras do change, so go
But
ahead.
yeah, they do change, but I think They do stay stable depending on how busy you are and what you
Mm-hmm.
might be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, before we were on video here, just
Yes.
chatting with you, I receive energy through the chat even, right?
Right.
And I could tell when somebody's being genuine or whether being, whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
could pretty much tell, who the person is before I even get to see who they are. And then when
Mm-hmm.
I get to see who they are, then that really tells me more, and I can tell more of the energy.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see in you is I read the aura as a rainbow,
Okay.
going going from the closest or the innermost being the level one, and then two, and then three. I usually read three levels.
Mm-hmm.
What is Julie saying?
Okay, so this is a question, Glenda. When channeling beings from outside perceptions of the human mind, do these beings have names, or are they known to be by their energy?
What,
Okay.
should I answer that?
You can answer that if you want to right now, and then I'll
Yeah.
continue my reading. Bobby,
Right.
your mic is messed up.
Yeah. W- well, Julie, when I channel, say for example, the Council of Nine, they assign themselves a name for our human sake. Um, they should. I could, if I see them, I'll know them by their energy. I don't need their name, but they assign themselves names so that the human mind can comprehend who they are and how to interact, because the human mind is very limited and therefore is very hard. When we are on the other side in heaven, we don't have names. We just interact through um, energy. We just know each other through energy. We speak telepathically, so there's not even verbal, because there is no body like this one. Or even if you're in a alien body, there is no body at all because it's all energy. So
Oh,
there is no per se. Each and every one of us that have incarnated, say for example, on Earth, we have as many names. I have been on Earth for many, 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 many lifetimes, and I could tell you each and every one of the lifetimes I remember, I had a completely different name. Actually, I even was completely different gender, and once or twice I was a, an animal.
oh wow.
So because one of the experiences I wanted to experience was how that animal can give unconditional love even to a human who abuses them. So that was one of my requests that I wanted to learn, I wanted to experience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the aura colors for you though, and now they might be the same as last time. I
Mm-hmm.
know I used mainly the three general colors, just to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but green is your primary color.
Mm-hmm.
Green, of course, has to deal with the heart chakra, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I got it wrong, please tell me.
No, you're correct.
Um, so the heart means that you're a very caring person, which we already know that. All right, so we don't have to figure that one out. But most of the people that are here in chat, they already know that. Or maybe everybody does. But anyway, I think you're a very caring person, so that's why I see green as your primary color.
Mm-hmm.
Your secondary color is orange, which has to do with creativity, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is blue, which is your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now they might interchange at some point
Right.
throughout your day, depending on how you are, on your attitude towards everything that's going on. You might you might shift a little bit,
Right.
but those are going to be your primary colors that you're going to be working with. And so you keep on loving, of course, keep
Mm-hmm.
on caring for people, which you do. And of course, I don't need to tell you that. But then of course, keep on creating. You know, keep creating new ideas, new pathways to helping people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
or new connections that will help people. You know, whether it be with podcasts, with your shows, whatever it is you're doing. You know, keep creating. Don't ever stop. Because in this human form, we need to get our messages out.
Yes.
And if we don't continue to create, our message is not going to get out. And they'll just say, oh, they're not interested in talking about that no more. We don't have to let them have that. You know, the internet's not needed anymore because nobody's talking anymore. You know,
Right.
so we need to keep communication open and keep sharing our messages. Even if somebody doesn't like it, what we're talking about. If we're talking about aliens coming from space, if they disagree with us, oh, that can't be. You know, in my opinion, I think God, the Creator, He can make any kind of life form He wants anywhere in
Yep.
any timeline or universe or dimension or whatever it is that He wants
Mm-hmm.
to make it in. If we get to see anything that's not right, then we have to make our decision. Is
Right.
it? I'm thinking it's something that God created, in my opinion. Okay,
Right.
whatever it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some will say, oh, they're demons or they're evil. No, they're probably good ones just like we are. We got bad people here, you know, in the human form. You
Mm-hmm.
know, doesn't mean that we're going to be looking any different. We're just a
Mm-hmm.
meaner person or lesser quality of a person, if you will.
Right. Right.
Um, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're evil. Evil. I mean, yeah, of course, we're all born evil, according to what the Bible said. But anyway, I don't know.
Well, if we're all born evil, we cannot be in his image.
Right.
So, and I don't believe the image represents the actual physical body. The image represents the soul.
The actual soul.
Eh,
Okay,
the
the
actual
original
soul.
creation. The
How
creation.
how we yeah, how we interact with people, how we're
Okay.
supposed to love each other, how we're supposed to be together. That is
Yeah,
the
I agree with that. Yeah. See, I
what I
think.
believe.
Yeah, and I think too. When we read the Bible again, we're reading it with the physical, mental capacity of what we have, with
Mm-hmm.
our understanding of our physical, mental ability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we have to mix in our spiritual self and
Right.
try to battle with the thinking of what we're reading.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to agree with that, you know.
No. And
Uh,
then you have to remember, it's been translated, God, how many times?
yeah, exactly.
And books in and books out, and
And
okay,
the one that we have today isn't all that terrible, but it's not the best,
it
you know.
wasn't the original one.
No, and the hardest part is that we got to be respectful of people's beliefs and what
Right,
they,
exactly.
and then share our own. You know, be able to share each other's beliefs, and communication is the key.
Right.
Because again, if we don't communicate,
Mm-hmm.
then we're not going to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
And
we
we could
only got,
agree to disagree
yeah.
and still have a very productive discussion
Yeah, and like I
without
said,
without
you know, we can be
going.
adults. We can be
Yeah.
adults, and we can
Mm-hmm.
be. I do have political discussions with people all the time on
Mm-hmm.
both sides. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and we don't agree, obviously, but yet we can still talk about it and not want to kill each other.
Yeah,
And we still
exactly.
say hi to each other, you know, in the chats and everything like that. We're fine. Everyone's
Right.
good.
Exactly.
Personal opinions and personal feelings, hey, friendship means more to me than personal feelings anyway, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we're all human beings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what color anybody is. I don't care what nationality anybody is. I don't care where you're coming from. Even if
Right.
you're an illegal alien coming across the border, I have a little problem with that one. But anyway, you're still a human being, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I do get that part of it. Everyone's a human being, okay? But now if you're coming here and do it the right way, do it correctly, and then get here, you know, go through the process to get here and everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna have a life that you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna do it illegal, then obviously that's a problem. So I mean, I was
Well,
born here. I was
right,
born here, and I worked my butt off to live here my whole life, and I served in the United States Navy,
right.
and so I put my time in. I'm an
And
American,
and
okay?
my parents, my father had to go to a concentration camp for 2 years
Yeah.
before the family was let out of Cuba. So,
Wow. Wow.
so he, he did it
But
how he had to do it.
so when you talk about things like this, be careful and be
Mm-hmm.
respectful,
Mm-hmm.
and no one's going to agree with. I can tell you this. Probably no one's going to agree with what you're saying.
Well, the way I look at it is the reality is the reality. My father did have to go to a concentration camp in Cuba for 2 years before he was given the permission to come into the United States. That's it. And that's the end of it. And after that, he came here and slowly he started getting the rest of the family here.
Wow.
Every place has a different. Of course, Cuba is communist, so you know
I
they
couldn't
do things.
imagine having to live through concentration camps.
He
So
went through and he was in the rice fields. Now I don't know if you know what rice fields are, but they're basically mud, and you're in it till like your stomach or your abdomen, and you're planting rice and then you're harvesting rice
oh
for
wow,
two
and that's all you
years.
do.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what he was doing the whole time. So, and he would get to come to the home once every 3 months for
Wow.
from Friday and leave back on Sunday. So everybody's got to do their time,
Yeah.
however they got to do it, and
Well, I'm glad that he survived and got you
yes,
here so that we can be friends and you can be part of our family here.
yes,
And
yes.
you can,
Thank you.
we can all work together. I think we can all learn from each
Yeah.
other. Hopefully my aura reading was close.
Yes. Well, no, it was. It was. Thank you. Thank you. It
So,
was very good. Yes, Julie, you can get very sick from that.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. So,
See,
but,
when I was in the service, I did
mhm,
4 years in the United States Navy,
right.
and 20 years old, of course, right? So,
Hmm.
uh, got out of high school, went right into the Navy, did my first Westback. I was 20 years old. Uh, went across the international date line, got my shellback initiation. So got the shellback award, for being not brave to go through that process. That's
Hmm.
a rite of passage for any sailor, if you know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then went to Australia. I'm in Australia, 20 years old. I left high school, left my mom and dad, and I'm in Australia at 20 years old.
And there you go.
Now I only
Um,
served during peacetime, but
right.
I still did a full time 4 years of service, of my life
Right.
that I put on the line.
Right.
And we carried I was on I don't know if you know those types of ships, but I was on a LPD. Way I said landing personnel dock. That's what I call it. Might be a
Okay.
different name, but it's a LPD, and I was on a USS Denver, LPD 9,
Mm-hmm.
and we carried 1,200 Marines on our
Mm-hmm.
ship. Now the ship is only 550 feet long, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
about 18 frames wide. So a flat bottom ship basically. What it
Mm-hmm.
was used for was to go into the shallow inlet bays so that you can let the Marines onto the beach.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
so they had their Beechcraft and they had all their, the Beechcraft that they had, they could hold like about 100 men inside those Beechcraft.
Wow.
Okay, and all their equipment they had to carry with them onto the beach. So that was in our well deck, and then our
Mm-hmm.
well deck, when they let them out, they would float off into the, and go onto the beach, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'd all get let out on the beach and do their thing, if it was, attacking somebody or
Mm-hmm.
training or whatever it was they were doing. But imagine 1,200 Marines.
Oof.
Now, the crew size for my ship was 500.
Right.
So on that, I call it a small ship, but for one person, it's not that small.
Right.
But when you're dealing with 550 feet and you got 2,000 people
Yeah,
practically
that's
on
a
that small ship. Now, if you look up that size or that type of a ship, look up the LPD and
mm-hmm.
you'll see what I'm talking about, or look up the name USS Denver and you'll see what I was on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on that ship for 4 years. That was my home, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I did 2 Westpacks. And in the Philippines, I seen some weird stuff in the Philippines.
Uh,
And you want to talk about metaphysical and spiritual things, oh man. There were there were Catholic Christians there, but there were some weird, dark Christian stuff there, if you want to call
huh.
it Christian. But
Okay.
let's just say it was totally opposite of what the regular Catholic Christian type was, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. And I've seen a couple of things, that I wouldn't want to live again or try to even go be involved with again, just because it freaked me out pretty bad. And I mean, again, I was, at that time I was, 20, 22 years old, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is really weird.
Well, yeah, and every culture has their own thing, and every country has their own
Yeah.
thing.
And what's interesting about the Navy, though, is
Mm-hmm.
as an explorer, as my original life, 850 AD, landing on North America as an explorer on a big sailing ship, all right? Here
Mm-hmm.
I am in the United States Navy on another ship traveling across the world. Well, how would I even know how to do that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there has to be some kind of connection as to
Well,
why that
yeah,
happened.
the experience from that you knew
Yeah,
you used it for this lifetime.
yeah.
That's
And
that's
my
what it's all
job,
about.
my job was quartermaster or navigation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with navigation. So I used to do the dead reckoning track for the ship's
Mm-hmm.
direction.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I ran the wheel and the lee helm and the helm. And so I was with the bridge and with the captain on the bridge, and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty big job there, when you think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so
it's
uh,
very interesting.
yeah,
Very
so
interesting.
that's kind of weird how that was played out, though, and I don't know how many people can say, oh, well, I did this because, well, that's what I wanted to do.
Mm.
But why did you want to do it, though?
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you're a counselor, you're a pastor or a religious leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Minister, however you said that on your bio there.
Yeah.
Um, and so, uh, why are you that way? Because you were led that way, or are you that way because that's who you're designed to be?
Mm. I was kind of led. I was
You're kind of
led.
led that way.
I was led. I was led to my path, and each step I take leads me to wherever I need to go for that moment. That's the
Um,
best way I can explain it.
all right. So now on your drowning episode, not to
Hmm.
uh, be negative on this
Yeah.
situation, but trying to put a positive spin on this,
Hmm.
would that have led you into your life now?
If I didn't have the drowning,
Yeah, like you went to heaven,
probably
you saw
I
things.
was. Yeah, I was probably that probably happened so I can see for myself as it, so I could bring that memory back, so I can reignite that memory of that divine place.
Okay. And it's
Okay,
bigger and it's
because
bigger than you or I anyway.
way bigger than any one of us put together. And the way I look at it is they wanted me to remember, so I knew how unconditional love really felt. Because yes, you have your mother's love, unconditional love, but that unconditional love of the divine or the creator
Yeah.
cannot compare to anything. And when I arrived up there, that truthfully, that universal unity and that love was just almost overwhelming. Almost
Okay.
overwhelming. So when I came back, you started with me with the heart. And that is what I always start with.
Yeah.
So,
So I read you right then. I read you correctly.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes,
Good.
yes,
That's nice. All right.
yes, definitely.
Um, I don't know. Do you like tarot card readings or oracle card readings?
I actually teach tarot.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Well, maybe you should give me a reading. I don't know.
no,
Um,
no, no.
um,
The way I look at it is, well, first of all, I teach more intuitive
yeah.
tarot reading. So you could use the tarot card, but you could even get to the point by the end of my course, you could get and use regular playing cards and use
Actually,
too.
I got a story about that.
Yeah.
I was reading for a person. Won't talk about why or where I was
Right.
at, but I was
Right.
reading for a person. I didn't know who he was, and I was in. A bunch of us were in this place,
Mm-hmm.
and I had playing cards. That's it. Now I was just goofing around, but I knew I had abilities already. I knew I had
Right.
abilities,
Right. Right.
and so I said, "Hey, I could tell you, your story. I don't know who
Mm-hmm.
you are. I could tell you your story right now with regular playing cards." And he said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh no, you can't." And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes, I can." So I shuffled the cards up, took out the jokers, on the information card, just had the playing cards,
Mm-hmm.
shuffled them up, laid out a line of cards,
Mm-hmm.
and I could tell that he had a drug problem, he had a
Mm-hmm.
violent problem, he had a
Mm-hmm.
relationship problem, which he had no offense towards anybody, but he had a guy friend,
Right.
and his family didn't like that. Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
he didn't care what his family liked, so he was going to do his own thing. So
Right.
anyway, I told him all about this, and how would I know that? And I mean, like when I laid out the cards, and two kings wind up on the same line, and it's like that doesn't look great. Two kings, that doesn't make sense at all. But then there was some like the different suits you can tell, like clubs is trouble, and things like that.
Right. Right.
And so I could tell he has some trouble with some drug issues and some family distrust about different things. And
Mm-hmm.
then with this relationship problem was not going well, and the drug issue wasn't helping that either.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, at the other end of the spectrum of the line, he
Mm-hmm.
had to make a decision. Does he change his drug habits or his relationship habit or his relationship with the person he's trying to be friends with?
Mm-hmm.
So the question had to really come down to put away the drugs, get back with the family, and then
Mm-hmm.
go from there. If he is that way where he chooses his own path, for whatever
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
his relationship issue, that's a whole other thing. That's someone's personal choice. I don't judge anybody for that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I don't condemn anybody. It's up to God to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to do that. But anyway, the cards did the reading, and I just shared the story. And then he said, like, how did you know that? So he ended up giving me a candy bar. That one, didn't have any
Mm-hmm.
money. We just had,
Mm-hmm.
we had a Snickers bar. Here, have a Snickers bar for your reading. Thank you. I'll take
Uh,
one.
you know
Anyway,
what? After a reading, sometimes you need some chocolate. So,
exactly. But yeah, so I learned I could do that with regular playing cards, and
mm-hmm.
but he was like, "How did you know that?" And I said, "The cards told me." That's all I told him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
when I do reading, I ask. I believe in the Holy Spirit. I believe in the Christian faith, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that the Holy Spirit being my guide and guiding me in these things. Now, some of the people say, "Oh, well, tarot cards are bad. You shouldn't read tarot cards. They're evil." I said, "They're just cards with pictures on them, and you're sharing a story that you want to share with somebody. You know,
Exactly.
that's all they are."
Just a tool. It's not
Yeah,
the cards are not evil.
and
It's just a
and
tool.
and what I do every time when I do a reading, I
Uh-huh.
always ask for the spirit to give me the message of the person I'm doing the reading for. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I usually don't have any trouble getting it wrong. so,
Mm-hmm.
so
But I always ask for the highest and greatest good.
yeah, there you go.
Uh,
There you
this
go.
way, it's what they need to hear, not what I need to hear, and not what I
exactly.
think I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And hey, Marco, how you doing? Yeah. Well, I had fun tonight. I don't know about you.
yes, great time. Thank you.
Very interesting. Yeah. So I don't know if you wanted. Would you want me to do a reading for you or no?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'll show you the card. One of my favorite cards that I like to use. I found these at Gettysburg,
Oh,
and I like these
great.
things.
Oh, nice. Yes,
Yeah,
those
and
are nice.
I have another set that I use, but I like these because they're bigger to handle. They're easier to handle. You
Yeah.
know, they're a little bit easier to work with. And it
Yeah,
seems like there's.
sometimes the cards are so small that even for me,
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. I had also gotten. I was gonna buy I got a learning deck that I bought. A
mm-hmm,
tarot learning deck, and it shows on the card what everything means about the card, you know.
right, right.
And really good. I mean, I don't need it, but when you're reading for somebody and they don't know what you're doing, it's nice to have that explanation,
Mm-hmm,
different things.
mm-hmm.
So Bobby usually makes my picture a little bigger so that I can read. He's not. Bobby is watching something else.
Okay.
But that's all right. We got this. We got this.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all, in my opinion, I think most of these are all positive. Usually it's something that uh, you know already that you need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking for the spirit to give me the card that will give you what you need to know. That's how I would usually ask. I might not even say that many words, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, everyone, well, go ahead and welcome Marco.
Hey, yeah, that's weird. I like it though. So here's read that.
It's hard to because the light is shining on it, but you can just read it. Yeah, it's
There you
here.
go.
Don't give up on love. Okay, very interesting.
And then shows two dolphins. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a relationship. It just means don't give up on the love
Well,
that you
I
have for
am in a
people.
committed relationship, so
but don't give up on the love that you have to give to
right.
people. You know.
Hmm.
So, but there you go. Well, that's a good
Yeah,
card.
it is a good card. It's a good reminder to always use your heart when you're
Yeah,
doing something.
exactly.
So,
And if you are ever wanting to come back,
hmm,
you're more than welcome to at
thank
any
you,
time.
thank you.
Do you have any books or anything? And
Well, I do have a book that I wrote a few years back. It's called
okay,
Sarah's Chrysalis. It's on Amazon.
okay,
And book number two is going to be a series of 5 books. Book number two is in the process. I'm doing the last minute, the last few editing changes there to it, but
okay,
I'm hoping to get it out soon.
okay.
So that's that. I do have every single month I have classes that I do. So people can just look me up on Meetup, or which is a place where everybody, it's basically a huge social media for events. They could also look me up on Facebook. They could go find me on my website at Glenda's Magical Creations. Um, and you could also look me up on YouTube and all that other stuff. I'm also on the Conscious Awakening Network and the Parapost Network Central.
Oh, okay.
And yes, so in those two networks where it goes all over the place, all over the
Yeah.
world. And I also stream a lot of things. Like I stream a Reiki clinic, so it's basically a Reiki session every
Mhm.
Monday night, and that is absolutely complimentary. So no one has to pay anything, because I believe that people need healing. That's just sometimes they can't pay for it. So
Mhm.
I do that as a group healing session. And then on Wednesday nights, of course, I have Glenda's Dragons Den. That's at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern. And that's one of my podcasts. And then on Thursday nights, I run a psychic mediumship development class, and that's also complimentary. That's on Zoom and in person. So if anybody's interested, just even finding out if you have a gift or not, or how you develop it. And like I said, there's beginners and then there's experts in
Mhm.
my circle. We just help each other continue to practice our gifts. And then on on Sunday night at 7 p.m., I stream a channeled messages from uh, spiritual beings like the Council of Nine,
Mhm.
and from other light beings that just want to come and give the world some knowledge and some memory. Because sometimes we need to. They take us places so we as humans can remember certain things that we have gifts for.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
certain memories that we need, especially right now, since like you said, the world is being so negative. We need those people to wake up and start lighting the way so the darkness disappears.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Interesting.
Yes. So every week, and I run a lot of courses. Like I'm close to the end of the self love course, which is something where I at the very end you'll learn how to put boundaries up. You'll learn how, when, and where your uh, what traumas happened, so then you can heal those traumas, send
Mm.
those that time period some healing energy, so it could heal the now, the you now. And a lot of people have taken that course. I have right now, I have 10 students that are taking that course, and it should end within 2 months, because we meet twice a month, and it's for 26 sessions. And every single time we meet, I give you an explanation, I give you an exercise, you got homework in between. Then
Mm.
I'm doing the tarot certification class. That's 18 months. That's meeting once a month. And at the end, you basically can read just like I can if you want to. So,
Okay. Julie had a question here.
Okay.
One more question. The darkness separate or part of one, transmuting the darkness into light. Just curious.
Okay. We are all part of one. Even in Eastern societies, there's the yin and the yang.
Mm-hmm.
We all comprised one. Just like, God created the angels, the archangels, and one of them supposedly, went and became what we people refer to as the devil now. Well, or Satan or Lucifer. He was created to spark our thinking, and he was created. So he's called evil, but we still have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
He could say whatever he wants to say and could do whatever he wants to do, but it is our choice whether we stay in the light or we divert ourselves into a little bit darker um, path. So it's all up to us. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Now
people who
you,
kill, they
yeah.
they kill because they make them. So
Yeah. So maybe what you say is true. You can either be in the light or on the dark. You can't have the best of both worlds. If you can. Just like you can't serve God and man at the same time, it doesn't work that way. I want to welcome Yolanda in the chat.
well, you can work with both of them.
Yeah.
There's there's a lot of good things in man,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a lot of good things in God. So you can definitely work with both to help you in your path at this very moment. Your path in this incarnation, in this life, requires finagling and looking at all sides. And the more you learn from all sides, the better it is for you to be able to grow and evolve.
Yeah.
The more opportunities come for you to evolve and grow.
Now, I had a question about you were talking about a dream journal, right?
Yes, yes.
Now, most of the time I don't remember my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have ADHD, so that could be part of my memory issue, right? And then also I kind of like blank out things I don't want to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a tool that I use maybe to keep myself level,
Right.
whatever. And so in the nighttime when I'm dreaming,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm dreaming. Or what happens to me is I believe that when we go to sleep, we actually travel to wherever we travel to,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had visions, I call them visions, I don't call them a dream.
Right.
Because when I'm in that vision, I
Mm-hmm.
can have my cell phone in my hand. And I actually have my cell phone in my hand in
Mm-hmm.
the vision, and I can call somebody, or
Mm-hmm.
not that I would really be on the phone, but in my
Mm-hmm.
vision, I could be using my phone,
Right.
and it's really there. Or I can have a glass of a drink that I'm drinking, whatever be water or whatever it is I'm drinking, and it's a cold glass that I have in my hand, physical
Mm-hmm.
item in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that we travel to places like that in our nighttime sleeping time.
Right.
Um, Something about what I was going to say. I again I landed in North America in 850 AD. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I lived like 40 years and I died. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then I came back, same person, okay, same spirit,
Mm-hmm.
just in a different time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I went and I got programmed for the next leg of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which again, like you were saying, many lifetimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe in reincarnation per se, but I believe in an existence of through time,
Mm-hmm.
same soul energy, same exact
Mm-hmm.
soul energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and like you said, different genders or maybe an animal even,
Right.
and so anything can happen, right? So, but the thing of it is, I remember dying at around 890, 80,
Right.
and then I came back around a little bit after about 910 or something like that. I came back, and then
Mhm.
all that time was working on the land, farming, learning how
Mhm.
to survive in North America,
Right.
which it wasn't North America then, but anyway, there was a lot of different people here then
Right.
that we don't understand who was here, but it wasn't like we think it is in history. So, but anyway, at each time I would die and come
Mhm.
back, I'd be in a different part of the land sometimes,
Right. Right.
right? So I wouldn't necessarily be in the same location all the time. The
Right.
longest time I remember is I was on a farm. I had like three different wives, but they all died. I
Mhm.
survived for quite a long time in that time frame, probably close to 100 years in that situation.
Mhm.
And so I had different wives because they all died along the way, and I survived, and I remarried, of course, obviously, right?
Mhm.
Had to make more people, right? So anyway, living on the land, surviving, and things like
Mhm.
that. And
Mhm.
in the north, in the winter, it's a lot different.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so anyway, I remember when I don't know if know who you know who Tanya Medea is?
No.
Joey Medea, author. You know Joey Medea.
Yeah. I
Okay.
know of them, but not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tanya did a past life regression for Joey on the air
Mhm. Mhm.
as part of her certification class for her training,
Mhm.
right? And so as I was listening to that show live,
Mhm.
I went into a vision
Mhm.
as she was telling his story. Now he was the kid on the pier
Right.
trying to fight and argue not to go on the ship, I think,
Right.
right? He ended up going on the ship. Now guess who I was on that ship?
Captain.
No, navigator.
Navigator. Okay.
I was like a lieutenant, maybe, first
Mhm.
mate or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Um, I was higher up on the chain. I wasn't the
Mhm.
help that they were trying to get on the pier.
Right. Right.
But somehow I knew Joey at that time on the pier,
Mm.
and I knew of the ship he was talking about because it was my ship.
Mm.
So now I knew nothing about the argument or the debate about why the kids shouldn't be taken. They were like, you know, taking 15-year-olds to go to work on the ship. So
Mhm. Mm.
whatever, whatever the situation was, I'm not really sure what it was. That was in Northeast.
Right. Right.
In
Right.
the 1700s or 1600s, 1700s, whatever that is. Now,
Right.
fact checkers, please don't fact check me. You know, this is all conversation and story time telling. We're not even being serious here. So calm the f down. So
So
and
everybody that's in the description, there is actually no need for fact checking, and we do not represent anybody. Just
yeah,
our opinions, and that's it.
yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, so I had a problem on my Facebook actually. I had a message from the fact checkers because I said something. And they're like, why are you checking what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they
it,
check everybody.
yeah, and it's like I watched the convention. It was just last week, and it's like
Mhm.
they said so many wrong things. I didn't need a fact checker to tell me it was wrong.
Mm.
What they were talking about, and I'm like, holy cow, that's just insane. How they don't get in trouble for that. But if I said that, I'd be in trouble.
Hey Ron, I just wanted to say that truth to be told, if you're going to be saying something that may not be right when it comes to dimension, you're ready to be fact checked.
All right.
Because I've been fact checking the how the fact checkers react each convention just to see what's right and what's not.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's what I was just talking about. So, but
Yes.
so, but
Um.
yeah. So hopefully they can understand that this is our own opinions,
Mhm.
and yes, she is on
Yes,
Facebook,
I am on Facebook, Yolanda. Glenda Dawson on Facebook,
and she looks just like she does here.
and I look just like I do here. Yes, I didn't put a picture of me when I was, in my 20s.
All right, right. Or someone else's like the AI generated picture, whatever. And
I think they're funny, but
yeah, but not when you want
not
a real picture for yourself
exactly,
for your
exactly.
page. So, but when you go to take a dream journal, back to my question,
Hmm.
and again I went sideways on that one. But anyway, uh, how do you remember your dream? First of all, like when I go to sleep tonight, and
Uh-huh.
I only sleep like maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe 4 hours max. And
Hmm.
I take a sleeping pill to help me sleep. And actually, the sleeping pill is supposed to stop my dreaming. That's what happened
Wow.
there.
Well,
And
I could tell you what I tell my students to do each and every night is to set the intention they're going to remember their dream, because their dreams are usually some traveling that they do, or some vision, as you call it, or some message that their guides are giving them, that they it would be advisable if they write it down, because if you don't write it down as soon as you wake up, by
forget
the
it.
time you get to the bathroom, it's all gone.
Yeah,
And that is one of the things I tell them. And this way they get messages, they learned where they have been. They also see past lives that way too.
mm,
Or, because they remember their past lives in their dreams, so they relive a scene. Like you were saying that that guy was going through his past life regression
yeah,
right on there. They
right,
remember a scene, or they remember something that just comes to them that is pertinent to this lifetime. Like you were a navigator previous, and it was a good thing you were, because you are now,
yeah,
or you were now. Okay.
yeah,
So that is why sometimes that's why it's very important to use a dream journal. And I call it a dream journal, but it's just a notebook where you write your dreams as you remember them, because you do get messages, you do get uh, memories, you do travel other places. So you'll know if you've been in a ship, for example, getting some healing.
mm,
So you write it all down, and it will be in the present, you'll remember. If you don't write it down, you'll forget until somebody puts you in a past life regression, or in a regression session in general, and you will then be experiencing the whole thing again.
yeah. And
So,
and I think the several regenerative lives that I've had, I believe
mm,
those are training exercises for me
mm,
overall.
mm.
So there's Yolanda's question.
I have a question for you, Glenda. When the cashier gives you extra change, is it the universe giving you that money, or a mistake? And if you don't return it, it's bad karma. Okay. If you went in there saying to yourself, I could only purchase, you only have 20 bucks. I could only purchase $10 worth of stuff, and your amount comes to $12, and you pray that you can buy your needs beforehand. But this is what a lot of people say. You get the extra money from the divine because you needed the extra money to continue surviving. I give it back. I always return it every single time, as long as I notice, because sometimes I just take the money, put it in my pocket, and I don't even realize what they're giving me. So they could have take money from me and I wouldn't even know it. But if I take the money and I count it and I realize, I give the difference back right away. Not because I believe it's bad karma, it's because I don't want to create that bad energy around me. You know, why that person, that cashier will probably have to pay for that mistake, not only by paying the difference, but also could be losing their job for being human that day.
Yeah.
You know, they have a
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, it's the same as like what this happened to me one time.
Hmm.
I was using the self check, and I was at the self checks. I scanned for every day,
Hmm.
and but the only thing I did not scan was the drinks.
Hmm.
No.
So when I carried everything back home,
Hmm.
I realized that I made a big mistake.
Hmm.
So I did the honest thing possible.
Hmm.
I went back
Hmm.
and told the greeter what happened,
Hmm.
and she let me scan it, and I was on my way back home.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that I don't want to create that negative energy.
Yeah.
It makes, you know, people can call it bad karma, whatever, but I just believe it's negative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I did it another time with some candy. I forgot to scan some candy, so I went back, grabbed
Mhm.
another day, scanned it, paid it, but I put it back so it
Mm,
can be right.
Yeah.
right, right.
All right.
So yeah,
He's having trouble with his microphone
Yeah, the
today.
microphone's not working right for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Not sure. But anyway, he's trying to multitask.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Bobby. It's just that sometimes it's a little hard to hear you with the microphone is really bad.
yeah. I'm sorry about that. I am really am multitasking tonight. It's supposed to be the closing ceremony of a New York station, WCBS on 880
Oh,
AM.
Wow,
okay.
really? Okay.
Okay.
And what can happen is probably around midnight at it's Eastern time.
Yeah.
They are going to be transitioning to an all sports network.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah, we don't usually do a show on Sunday night like this anyway.
Right,
But
right.
I figured since you were with Julie last night, and I thought, hey, that'd be fun to have you
Mm.
have you come
Um,
over here and visit with us for a little bit. And
yes, yes.
I didn't know when we'd have another opportunity to be able to do this and just have an enjoying conversation, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, thank you. Hopefully
and
I answer your question, Yolanda.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everybody respects what you got to say, and of course they all know you. That's why they're here. And
Yes.
so, and some of the people on Facebook know you and things like that. And so,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
keep doing what you're doing, and we can keep
Thank you.
working together.
Yes.
And if you ever want to do a session with us on we can figure out what night if you have something open that you want to share or want to do a session, a pre-session with somebody or something like
Yes.
that. Uh,
Definitely.
let us
Definitely.
know and we'll try to fit you in somehow.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, see,
Thank
you
you.
did. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Yolanda. Well, I always like to make sure that, you know.
And yeah, and my YouTube channel, of course, it's like goes all over the world, as you know.
Right. Right.
But I've had people from Australia talk to me, and I have people from all India, everything, talk to me
Mm-hmm.
from all over the place, and I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
If people are gonna be nice and be respectful, and they can be on be on the channel with us and talk with us. I don't like somebody coming in there and trying to point the finger at us and tell us we can't be causing trouble with anybody like
Mm,
that one guy did.
mm,
Bobby gets rid of that guy real fast, and so
mm,
yeah, we don't like people with that kind of an attitude because we're not here to be right or wrong. We're not here to
mhm,
tell anybody that they're right or wrong. We're here to share a message and here to share what we think is our truth, at least, and
mhm,
hopefully it can resonate with somebody else. And you don't know if you're open to it and you can accept it, and you don't know how much that will make you grow that day. How much it'll make
mhm.
you feel better.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, and you
You,
might be
you
having
never,
a
yep, you never know what you're going to hear
yeah,
that sparks that
and even
right
if it's
moment.
just a message of "I love you,"
Yep,
I don't mean
exactly.
anything weird with that. I mean that on a
No,
spiritual
no.
sense. I love
Yes.
you. Funny thing is, you were saying that you know them as energy on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
There's a verse, can't remember where, but you know it. It says, "You will know them as they are."
Yep.
I think Christ was talking to the apostles
Mm-hmm.
and saying, "You will know them as they are. Don't worry, they're in heaven waiting for you to get there," something like that. That's what
Mm-hmm.
he is teaching the apostles at the time. So you will know them as they are,
Mm-hmm.
and that means in their purest form.
Yes.
I'm going to know you in the purest form when we see you.
Yep.
Uh, there won't be male or female like there is here.
No, no.
There won't be a body that we can, oh, look at that, or
Yeah.
nothing like that. To be, hey, Glenda. We might know you as Glenda, but
Yeah, right,
maybe
right,
not. But we'll know you as you. I'll know
right,
you as you.
Right. You want
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here tonight and
Yes.
joining in on us. We weren't doing really any readings. I just wanted to do one for Glenda because, well, we never get to, so.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you having me here. And, for
Yeah,
anybody who's listening or watching, they could always find me not only just on Facebook, but on my website at
yeah.
glendasmagicalcreations.com. So,
And what do you create besides authorship? What do you make?
oh, I create
We didn't even talk about that one.
healing and healing. See, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, a
Okay,
minister, I am a Reiki Grandmaster, I am interdimensional energy healer, or healing, do a lot of interdimensional healing. I ask not just archangels and stuff like that, but I also ask galactic beings to come and help me heal the person that and see whatever they need.
yeah.
So I,
And
you
what,
know,
what what's
and it's
interesting?
uh-huh.
Oh, I was
And
just gonna go ahead.
and what I have is an actual um nonprofit spiritual center. That's what
Oh, there you
Glenda's
go.
Magical Creations is. It's a spiritual
Okay,
center. So
okay.
anybody is welcome, no matter what their beliefs is, what their background is, what how they look, whatever it is, everyone is welcome. It's
Yeah,
a safe place where anybody can just come in and share time with other humans
yeah.
without arguing or without anything like that. We can all share our opinions.
Bobby, you're
come. I just want to let you know, come as you are. Come as you are.
yeah.
Yes, but naked. We don't take those.
Yeah.
But yes, anybody, and it's on the first floor. So if you are handicapped or need any assistance, there's no
See what I
stairs.
like about people like you, and I'm
Hmm.
not trying to compare you to anyone that I know, but I do know Michael,
Hmm.
Reverend Michael, and I know some others that are in faith healing, Julia, of course.
Right.
Uh, I haven't met her in person. I haven't met Michael in person, and I haven't met you in person yet either. But anyway,
Hmm.
it feels like I have already. But anyway,
Hmm.
that's one thing I like about the video aspect of things. But
Yes.
I noticed that you all have kind of the same spiritual vibe of wanting to do a positive work, not
Hmm.
meaning to condemn anybody or judge anybody or anything.
No.
And
No.
so, I mean, I know that for the three people I just mentioned, you, Michael, and Julie, I
Mm-hmm.
could say something to you that most people would maybe, like their eyes would open up, like, what the heck are you talking about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yet I can talk to you guys, or, you know, you and Julie and Michael, and then you'd be like, oh, well, here's how that works out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you do understand. Great, I got somebody that knows what I'm talking about. And it's not so hard, you know, because
Right.
sometimes you can be talking to just everyday, you know, next to our neighbor, you know, and they'll be like, that guy's weird. He's talking about whatever, you know. But then if you're talking to people like you on your
Mm-hmm.
levels, you know, different
Mm-hmm.
levels, all of you are on different levels, you know, different gifts and different things you do. But I can be open about that and talk. Like I can message you now and say, hey, Glenda, I got a problem. We got to
Mm-hmm.
work on this, you know.
Yeah.
And you'll say, well, here, let's look at it this way. And then
Right.
we'll try to work around, you know, try to figure it out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to condemn me for how I think, and you're going to be open-minded and try to figure out, you know, maybe how I can change my thinking, you know,
Perspective.
adjust, yeah,
The
adjust the
perspective.
perspective,
Yeah.
exactly. And those promos that I do at the beginning, that Bobby played at the beginning,
Uh-huh.
you know, the little intro promos there, I made those on, I use two different things that I use. I use Canva,
Mm-hmm.
which is a promo creator thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
also use a thing called Create Studio.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, two different things. And the music that I use on them are all designed that I can use them on the internet, no problem.
Right. Right.
So,
Good.
because before
Good.
I was using other music and they got mad at me for that. Oh, you can't use that music and and it's
Yeah.
copyright free music, but yet they said I can't use it on Facebook. And then so I go to another site that I pay money for so that I
Mm-hmm.
can use royalty free music so I don't get that copyright notice thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everything that we do costs money. I mean, it's money
Mm-hmm.
and money, 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 and money.
Yes, I know.
And it's not free, and what we do it, and hopefully somebody will get a nice feel for it, nice message about it. But I mean,
Right.
I create intros like that, and if you need an intro or something, let me know,
Thank you. Thank you.
and we can definitely talk about it and see what you want. Maybe if you have an idea of something,
Mm-hmm.
we can figure out some kind of thing, or if you have one that you have in mind that you want to try to put together and
Okay.
have it produced and put together,
Definitely.
both Bobby and I can maybe try to work on it, you know, and
Definitely.
get something out there for you, you know, just to help spice up your maybe spice up some, you know, an advertisement for you or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But,
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
keep you guys in mind. Definitely.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
I
But
do have to go because it's 11 over here.
oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, and we started a little bit later, and we're a little bit later even. Right.
So,
All
all
right.
right.
Well, thank you
I
for
do want
that.
to thank you, and God bless,
Yeah.
and sleep well and
Mm.
have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, and
Thank
I
you
will
to
work
everyone.
on that. I will work on that dream journal and be honest about it. I'll be honest about
Exactly. It's yours. It's yours. Nobody has to read it.
it. That's
So
right. That's
that's the
right.
idea. So,
All right. Well, thank you very much.
all right. Thank
And
you.
you have a
Have
good
a
night.
great, you as well. Thank you.
All right.
So one day Yolanda had to leave, Julie, Marco, Genghis, and I think I forgot the one on Facebook. Rockstar was here. Yeah, there was one more on Facebook. I forgot her name.
Ashley.
So,
Ashley.
Ashley.
Ashley. Yeah.
all right. So,
All right.
Ashley, thank you for being here. Um, just like I said, please be a little bit respectful. If you're not going to be respectful, you don't need to be here. Simple as that.
Yeah.
All
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 right.
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 Thank you.
So,
Have a
All right.
great.
Bye.
Bye
good
bye.
night. And
All
now,
right.
I'm just going to scroll. Or I can do this. There we go.
Yeah, I
You
don't know
may
what's
not.
wrong with your microphone. That microphone has a problem.
Yeah, and apologies for the mic. Yeah.
Okay.
So, here we go. shows reminds you that you should continue listening and watching the Earth Radio on your favorite device on Mixler, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Trouble, Odyssey, and Rumble. And with your glorious gift of $40, you receive this nice glorious hat by going to earthradio.com and hit that big PayPal button while supplies last. Because if you do not, I'll either will come in my TIE fighter or even in my bumblebee, and I will beam you up, and you better pray to yourself because know what's going to happen to you and your wallet. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Bobby's microphone. Usually it doesn't have that trouble.
Yeah, and I was trying to use it with the wire ones and stuff, so sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we got through it all right. So I didn't expect to go 2 hours. uh, but anyway, yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. Hopefully we helped you with some questions. And make sure you reach out to Glenda if you have any questions. And she can help you. She's on Facebook, Glenda Dawson. And please check her out. And we'll see everybody next time, alright? Bobby, turn that microphone on.
Yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for watching.